Hola a todo el mundo. Hello to everyone.
Hi, Ilia. Ilia, I'd be curious to know if you feel like you have gotten under Max Holloway's skin in the lead up to this fight.
I never thought about that, to be honest, and I don't care. I will be in his skin on this Saturday. That's for sure.
You know, he's saying that he was here earlier today and he feels that, you know, about this whole finger pointing story, that you haven't earned that moment with him yet and you're just a copycat of Conor McGregor.
I never asked him if I deserve that or not. I will be pointing to the ground since the first second of the fight. If he wants to stay with me in the middle, it's okay, and prove that he's the real BMF. And if he decides to don't do that, it's okay too. I'm gonna find a different way to finish him and take his head off.
I've noticed that in the lead up to this fight, you've had a BMF belt, but it's not here today. Did you bring it with you to Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I have it with me.
Did you decide that you deserve to be the BMF belt because he wasn't defending it against you, or why did you purchase that?
For me personally, the opinion I have is that that belt was created for and because of George Masvidal. Beside of him, no one is a BMF. But if someone has to have it, I prefer to have it.
Do you believe that your chances of winning this fight go up if it's about finishing him, or if it goes the distance, can you match with him for the whole 5 rounds and match his pace?
Of course, I'm ready, not for 5 rounds, to be honest. I'm ready for 10 or 15 rounds, whatever he wants to do, I can do it. But I don't think that the fight will go to the distance. I will finish him before that.
If you knock out Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway in 1 year, does that make you the best fighter this year?
I don't know who takes that decision, but if they think that I'm the best fighter, I will be very grateful with that. If not, Alex is a great fighter too. He deserves to be the best fighter.
Right here. You've used the phrase that you're the new era of mixed martial arts quite often. Max, I asked Max about that. And he said, you know, you don't really do anything different. You punch, you kick, you wrestle, you do everything everyone else has done. So I guess, what exactly do you mean by saying that you are the new era of MMA?
The way I applicate the techniques and the skills to my opponent, the way I move my head, the way I dominate the octagon. That's the difference. What evolution do you see in Max Holloway in every fight? Maybe only in striking, but you don't see him getting better in wrestling or in the ground. You don't see him trying new things. Only in the striking. This is what I'm talking about. I try to evolve the game all the time, not only in the striking, with the wrestling, with the ground game, with everything.
And to kind of go off of that, you know, everyone talks about Max Holloway's boxing, and he's the best boxer in the UFC and this. But, you know, he broke Justin Gaethje's nose right away with that spinning back kick. He hurt Anthony Pettis with the same kick. Do you think people are focused so much on his boxing that maybe they don't see everything else well that he does?
In reality, he's a good striker. It's not only a boxer, because calling himself the best boxer in the UFC is kind of shame, I think, because he's not the best boxer in the UFC. But he's a good striker. He has a lot of experience. He's very patient inside the octagon. But everyone is good when they can develop their style inside the octagon, and someone is not putting the pressure on him. So on Saturday night, he's going to feel something that he never felt with any other opponents that he had in the past. The pressure he's going to feel with me, it's going to be completely different.
So would you say you're the best boxer in the UFC?
I don't like to take credits from anyone in the UFC, because we have a lot of great fighters. And let's the people to decide that, right? Let's the people to call you the best boxer in the UFC.
And the last one for me, Diego Lopez is weighing in as the backup. You know, you've said respectful things about him. He said respectful things about you. Have you run into him at all in the hotel?
No, I didn't see him, but he seems to be a good guy.
Ilia, მარჯვენ თუ შეიძლება. მარჯვენ. Quick words in Georgian, sorry, არაბატევს გისურვებ. და როგორც სპორტის გულშემატკივრებს, რომელიც პირველ დღიდან გიყურებს, ძალიან მიხარია და სიამაყით ვავსებს, რომ შენ კუთვნილ ადგილას ხარ UFC-ს ქამრით. Now, back to my question. You defeated one of the greatest featherweights in history, Alex Volkanovski. Now you're fighting Max Holloway, another one of the greatest featherweights. If you defeat him, do you feel like there is no more challenge left for you at featherweight, and perhaps you want to fight Islam Makhachev next? What's it for you?
Before I used to make more predictions about that, and I want to fight this one or that, but at the end of the day, I want to do my job, which is to show up and fight, and we'll see what the UFC wants me to do. If they call me and they want me to move up to the lightweight division, I will be okay with that, to move up and be the first one to submit Islam. And if they want me to keep defending that belt in the featherweight division, I will be okay with that too. So let's leave that decision to the UFC.
Your friend, Merab, became the second Georgian to hold the UFC belt in less than a year. What is the feeling of you? How did you feel? How are you feeling about that? And how happy were you when you see him?
I'm very happy. I have the pleasure to know Merab personally. He's an amazing human being, and he deserves that. He deserves to be and hold that UFC title.
Last one for me. Where do you feel should your next fight be? You mentioned Spain, Santiago Bernabeu. Is that where you want to defend your title next?
Oh yeah, for sure. It has to be in Madrid.
Thank you. Madloba.
A lot of fighters are reluctant to speak out about their goals, what they want to do in these fights. And you've said it all. You want to be 3-division champion. You're going to knock out Max in the first round, all these things. Where does that confidence come from? And why are you not maybe as reluctant as some other fighters to speak about what you feel is going to happen?
They ask me what I want to achieve in the UFC and what was my if I could dream big. So my answer was I want to become a UFC 3 weight class world champion. And what makes me be so confident? The hard work I'm putting in and to know what I'm able to do inside that octagon.
Alexander Volkanovski, I know you had an interaction with him yesterday. Does that kind of go how you thought it would be? You guys were respectful, you'd shake hands?
I always respect Volk, always. Before the fight, after the fight, there was nothing personal. I was only fighting for my dreams. And this is the same thing what's happening this Saturday with Max. I have all the respect for him. He's a great fighter. He has achieved many great things in the sport. You can't take the credit from him. So I have learned many, many things from him. He called me a fan. Yeah, I followed his career. I've been a fan. How can you not be a fan of Max Holloway, right? So he's been a great example for me, but now it's my time to be that example for the new generation.
Yeah, and I spoke to Volk last night, and he said in his perfect world, you would win this fight and fight him in Australia at UFC 312. But he said he wasn't so sure you would do that, so he wants Max to win because he thinks he would be more willing to fight in Australia. What do you think of that?
Listen, if that makes him feel happy, that thinking that maybe I would go to Australia, that's okay. But in myself, that's never going to happen. I'm the champion, and if you want to fight for the title again, it has to be in Madrid instead of fighting in Australia in front of you people. Why I would give you that advantage?
For sure. Thank you.
You are fighting in Abu Dhabi. It's too close to the Spain, too close to the Georgia, and the fans from Georgia and Spain will be here cheer for you for the whole time. What it means for you to fight in front of your people from Georgia and Spain?
Well, it means a lot to be honest. I'm very used to fight in the enemy's territory. This is the first time that I feel that maybe I'm not in my territory, but we are in a neutral territory, which is amazing. A lot of Georgians and Spanish people will be able to come and support me, and they are doing that, and I feel very grateful with that fact and very happy to be able to shine in front of all my people.
And also to speak about, you mentioned the enemy's territory. This looks like a little bit enemy's territory because of the last couple of weeks you spoke with Islam and all the fighters from Dagestan who likes to fight here. Is it like a little bit it's a pressure or it's a motivation for you to fight in front of them there?
Not at all. No, man. This is not their territory. They are not from here, they are Russians. So I don't feel any pressure because of that.
And also to say, the Merab you mentioned, you are so happy for Merab. Can you tell people how hard is it to fight and for your dreams from such country like Georgia, which struggled many times in the last couple of 30 years?
It's very hard. It's very hard, but it's not impossible. Everything is possible in this life. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you know where you're going, right? You have to have that positive mentality always. Because I always used to say like this: both fear and faith demand you to believe in something that you never saw, and you have to choose to believe in what you want to believe. I always choose to believe in things that make me feel happy.
Ilia,
And the
para
one else
España.
for me, please. Έρθεις da slot. You say that you were Max Holloway fan when you were young and watching him while growing up and becoming the professional fighter. What kind of difference you see from Max, for example, 5-6 years ago and Max today?
That's the thing. I don't see any difference. He's the same Max Holloway that we have seen since, I don't know, 2020. Since I made my UFC debut, he's the same one. Good striker, very patient in the octagon, but that's it. I didn't see any evolution in his game.
Ilia, para España, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo vas? ¿Todo bien?
Muy bien, muy bien. Un poco me cuesta estos cambios, pero de inglés, georgiano, español.
Acaba de decir Max Holloway que eres un copión de McGregor, que le has robado sus tatuajes, su aura.
Es un mequetrefe. Ya no sabe. ¿Por qué no habla de lo que se tiene que hablar? Que es de la pelea. Porque no ve ninguna falla en mí. No sabe de dónde cogerse. Sabe que soy mucho mejor que él. Y ahora tiene que ir a algo como el mismo Conor, ¿no? Diciendo que yo no era español. Es que como no tengo ninguna falla en mi estilo y como peleador soy mucho mejor que ellos, van a eso. Pero realmente que se presente el sábado por la noche y le cierro esa boca.
Precisamente la pregunta era sobre lo de los 10 segundos, sobre que le vas a citar en el centro y no ha acabado de decir si se va a atrever o no.
Ya se está rajando, se está rajando.
Anoche estuvimos hablando de ello en el partido de Copa y tu colega Juanma decía, ¿pero de verdad le va a noquear en 10 segundos a un tipo que no ha noqueado a nadie?
Si se planta, está noqueado, ya está noqueado. Como no lo sienten. Si yo fuera otro tipo de peleador, si yo fuera Jair Rodríguez o Brian Ortega, él diría, claro que sí, me planto aquí en los primeros 10 segundos, me da igual. Y está diciendo, no, yo estoy corriendo un gran riesgo, pero ¿qué riesgo estás corriendo? Lo único que te hace relevante es el BMF que tienes, que ni siquiera lo pones en juego. Yo soy el que está poniendo en riesgo las cosas, yo soy el que está poniendo este cinturón en el medio. Entonces el que verdaderamente está corriendo el riesgo soy yo. Pero aún así no lo quiere hacer. ¿Por qué? Bueno, pregúntenselo a él. Algo que a alguno le acerque papel ahora en su habitación.
Y sabes que la pelea es justo después del Madrid-Barça. ¿Qué le dices a la afición española, a todos nuestros oyentes? ¿Qué tienen que hacer nada más terminar ese clásico que es tan importante en nuestro país?
Primero, antes de decir qué es lo que tienen que hacer, lo que he estado diciendo es a ver si me he equivocado y en vez de tener que noquear a Max Holloway, tengo que noquear al responsable de quien puso ese partido en la misma hora, el mismo día que mi combate, cuando eso se sabía hace un par de meses.
Javier Tebas se llama, por si quieres.
Bueno, pues vamos a por Javier Tebas, el próximo.
Y a la afición española,
lo que les diría es, a ver, gracias por el apoyo, ¿no? Tampoco les voy a decir de que no vean el partido, vean mi pelea, que a mí me duele, ¿sabes? Que a los amantes del deporte que no le hayan dado la oportunidad de disfrutar de estos dos eventos, así que disfruten de lo que quieran y gracias por el apoyo.
Gracias a ti, Ilia.
Ilia, just one from my side only. We feel like there is a bit of a black box around your team. We're used to fighters making it in the regional scenes in Europe, even here in Africa, and then moving to the US, joining American Top Team or ATT or whatever it be, AKA. but you're coming out of this team in Madrid that we don't really know much about, your coaches, the team itself, your teammates. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've built with this team and where you see yourself taking, obviously not just yourself as a champion, but the whole team with you along with Spanish MMA?
¿Me quieres ayudar, José?
¿Cómo has creado tu equipo y dónde vas a llevar tu equipo ahora que sos campeón y cómo van a subir todos juntos a lo que se viene, a lo que se aproxima?
So I always surround myself with great professionals in every discipline that I need. I have one of the best boxing coach that you can have, grappling coaches, strength conditioning coaches. So I don't know what to tell you, to be honest.
But we see fighters like let's talk about Bilal as an example, who comes from a small gym in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now you've got
I come from a small gym too, the Clement Club.
But that's what I want to know is, are you now seeing people wanting to come and join your team and get into this gym and work out what you're doing? Because we know nothing about it, to be honest. Like, we want to know more about your team and what you're building and whether or not you're thinking to expand this thing, or is this just Team Ilia and that's it?
No, it's not just Team Ilia. We have a lot of guys. Actually, my brother is gonna make his UFC debut very soon too. We have a lot of guys growing, and hopefully they're gonna join the UFC soon too. I grew up in a gym called Clement Club, a small gym in Alicante, and they create many great fighters beside of me.
Thanks. Good luck, champ.
Ilia, on your left. You mentioned that you don't consider Abu Dhabi a home territory for Islam and fighters from Dagestan because, as you said, a lot of fans from Georgia can come here, a lot of fans from Spain can come here. Do you think your fight can make a perfect case for the possible future match with Islam to be staged in Abu Dhabi? Because, as you mentioned, your fan audience can easily come here, his fan audience can easily come here as well.
The thing that I want to fight with Islam doesn't mean that I have anything against the people from Dagestan. I don't have anything against anyone, you know. All the respect to all the people. And yeah, it could be a great place to make that matchup between me and Islam. Abu Dhabi, it's a great place. He's going to have a lot of fans here. And I'm sure that a lot of Georgians and Spanish people will come to support me too in that fight.
Yeah, thank you.
Ilia.
Matador.
Ilia. You're one of the few. Ilia, to your left.
Sorry.
You're one of the fewest fighters that does everything that he says. What's the secret to this? Is it just confidence? Is it a mixture between confidence and training? How are you able to do everything that you say?
To prepare yourself for what you're saying, right? I just trust myself. I know the preparation I have for everything I have in front, and my confidence comes from that, from the preparation.
Does it put more pressure on you the more you win? Because, as you know, the more you win, you fight with...
Not at all, because many people think that I'm trash talking, but I'm only saying the truth. I'm saying what I really feel inside myself.
Are you going to watch the Clásico this Saturday?
I can't, because it's going to be in the same time as my fight.
What's the prediction for the score?
3-1.
For
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Gracias por todo. Good luck.
Amen. Thank you.
Matador, lo curioso que es la vida, ¿no? Hace 4 años debutabas aquí en Abu Dhabi ante Youssef Zalal con corto aviso, y hoy 4 años más tarde defiendes tu título ante una leyenda. ¿Qué sientes con todo lo que ha pasado en toda esta exitosa carrera que tú tienes? 4 years ago, you defended your... You know my English is terrible.
It's great, man. It's great.
Okay. You started your dream here in Abu Dhabi with Youssef Zalal, and now, 4 years later, you will defend for the first time your title. How do you feel of the achievement?
Te respondo en español, ¿no?
Yes.
No, me siento súper bien, súper emocionado. El hecho de haber hecho mi debut, lo hablaba justo con el equipo la última noche. El hecho de haber hecho mi debut aquí y ahora tener mi primera defensa del título es algo increíble, ¿no? De hacia dónde la vida te va conduciendo cuando vas trabajando y confiando en todo el proceso. Enfrentarme a Max Holloway, un luchador que he mencionado que he seguido su carrera desde que me introduje en el mundo de las artes marciales, y ahora compartir el octógono con él es algo que me emociona, pero es lo que te digo, una vez el octógono se cierra, me da igual el nombre, el apellido, voy a por la victoria. Y
Pero sí.
mi objetivo siempre es conseguir cosas que no mucha gente lo ha podido conseguir.
Si alargamos el invicto 16-0, ¿te gustaría lo que es ir a por el siguiente cinturón, el de Islam Makhachev peso ligero, aquí de nuevo en Abu Dhabi o en Madrid?
Es lo que comentaba antes. Antes solía hacer más predicciones sobre ello, pero ahora es como lo que la UFC quiera. Mi trabajo es prepararme y pelear. Si ellos me llaman y me dicen que quieren que defienda el título, eso haré. O si quieren que suba de categoría y pelear por el otro cinturón, también estaré ok con eso. Ellos saben mis deseos. Mi deseo siempre ha sido también pelear por el otro cinturón, así que veremos a ver qué es lo que el futuro nos tiene, ¿no?
Okay.
Ilia, por aquí Álvaro Colmenero para ABC MMA. Si logras noquear a Max Holloway, cuando logres noquear a Max Holloway, después de haber noqueado a Alexander Volkanovski, ¿en qué estatus crees que te posicionará dentro de la división a nivel histórico, a nivel legendario?
A ver, yo creo que poca gente puede decir que ha noqueado a Max Holloway y a Volkanovski, ¿no? Y en un mismo año son dos peleadores icónicos de la división. Volkanovski ha barrido literalmente con toda la división, 7 peleas por el campeonato, 7 victorias. En Max Holloway, un atleta que se ha enfrentado a todos los campeones que han existido en la división y ahora se va a enfrentar a mí. ¿Dónde me posiciona? 100% que me posiciona en un buen lugar.
Y para terminar, Ilia, después de este combate, sí o sí, el siguiente tiene que ser ya en el UFC España. Te vas a parar, te vas a plantar y vas a decir, el siguiente España sí o sí.
Es que lo saben, el siguiente tiene que ser en España, pero al mismo tiempo, ¿sabes qué pasa, Álvaro? Que los que entienden y saben del negocio son la gente que está detrás de que podamos disfrutar de este espectáculo, ¿sabes? Y a veces te salen con unos argumentos que son bastante razonables. Entonces, tampoco me voy a subir a un burro que no, ¿sabes? Al final se trata de que todo el mundo gane. Así que veremos a ver qué es lo que la UFC quiere, qué es lo que yo quiero y si podemos alinear nuestros deseos.
Muchas gracias, Ilia, y suerte para este sábado.
Gracias.
Ilya, გამარჯობა. აკეთ. უპირველეს ყოვლისა, კიდევ ერთხელ რა ვიცი, წარმატებები ველოდებით მშვენიერ გამოსვლას. ახლა გავადავალ ისევ ინგლისურად და გკითხავ, რეალურად ძალიან ბევრი რამ შეიცვალა. უბრალოდ ხო, დამოიწდა გადასვლა. So a lot has changed, and now for the first time you're defending your title, and I feel like your nickname Matador right now is even more apt in this circumstance than usual, because for the first time people will be coming at you to try to take away something that you have, right? Does that somehow affect the strategy that you are planning to implement in this fight, or are you still sticking to the game plan of moving forward like you usually do?
I always stick to my game plan. They always wanted to take something from me, which is the undefeated record, and no one could, and no one will do that. I will keep and retire as undefeated fighter.
Okay, fantastic. I saw from the videos and of course on the embedded that you have basically you and Guram Kutateladze, another fighter from Georgia, the lightweight, are working together actively in this camp. Was that just because you've worked with him prior and you're comfortable with working with him, or is it because he's able to show you some things and implement some of the techniques that maybe Max uses?
The first thing is that I felt very comfortable with him. He's my brother, and we did a lot of training camps together. And the second one is, of course, that he can simulate a lot the Max Holloway style.
Okay, thank
Better
you.
than even Max did.
And one last question from me. Have you prepared the rules already?
Everything is prepared. Everything is prepared. The victory is prepared too. The only thing I have to do is to go there Saturday night and pick up what's mine.
Fantastic. Thank you and good luck with that.
Bye bye. Thank you very much to everyone.